Hey everyone, okay, here we go. This is video number 2 in our short video series on how to plan out and plot out our book so that it is effective and engaging for our readers. Yes, once again, I am at Impact Training and Fitness, where I work out and I train people who want a little bit of help in getting in shape. But we're talking about writing and reading. Okay, so we talked about, and I'm going to reiterate that every single story, every single book is about a journey, both a physical and psychological / mental journey of the main character or main characters. We talked about the first 10%. We talked about 10% of the book, the main character or protagonist being confronted with an opportunity that looks enticing for them. We know as the author that it is going to begin their physical and mental psychological change. So the next 15%, 10 to 25% of the book or the story is going to be the main character responding to this opportunity. So they are engaging in this opportunity. They're experiencing what life looks like given this opportunity. Case in point, The Hobbit, Bilbo Baggins, he's a hobbit. He wants nothing to do with adventure. He's given the opportunity to go on an adventure. Part of him thinks that it's enticing. He acts on it. And really for the next 10 to 15% of the book, Bilbo Baggins is still who he is at the beginning of the book, right? So this is where you as the author come in. Again, you write the character responding to conflict, responding to stressful situations, responding to other people through both actions and dialogue as they would have at the very beginning of the book. They cannot have this sudden change. The change needs to be gradual. But they start to experience what this quote unquote new life looks like given the opportunity. Okay, so again, Bilbo Baggins is on this adventure. He starts to see what it's like to be out in the world, away from the comforts of his hobbit hole. And again, it's a little scary, right? It needs to be a little scary. It needs to create some anxiety. But at the same time, there's little bits and pieces of this new life that are enticing to your main character. That's important. The main character starts to not completely buy into this new life, but there's bits and pieces of it that look kind of good. There's also bits and pieces of it that look not so good, and that is why they continue to respond to situations the way they did at the very beginning of the book. Now, about 25% of the way through the book or the story, there needs to be a change of plans. And when I say change of plans, it doesn't mean that the story itself needs to completely deviate. The main character needs to be given a situation in which they have an opportunity to act slightly differently than they would at the very beginning of the book. Again, I'm going to use The Hobbit as an example. Bilbo Baggins, and this is roughly 25, not quite 25% away through the book, Bilbo Baggins is given an opportunity to actually act as a burglar when they come across 3 trolls that are camping at night. He still responds in many, many ways. He responds the way he would at the very beginning of the book. However, he acts on this, yet again, new opportunity to become a quote-unquote burglar, right? So this is the change of plans. This is where we need to start portraying and showing our main character's physical and psychological change. This is where we're given the opportunity as the author to show this change. And again, we don't want to info dump. We don't want to tell. We want to show the audience how our character is changing. Some great ways to do this: through relationships, through actions around people, through action itself, through stressful situations, and obviously my main love, through dialogue. How do they respond in the spoken word to the people around them? Okay, so the 10 to 25% range, we're going on our journey, whether it's solving a criminal case or seeking out some hidden treasure. Our main character is responding to situations within that 15% like they would at the very beginning of the book, but about 25% of the way through the book, so towards the end of this first third of the book, and I say third because we're going to go 1 through 25%, 25 through 75%, and then 75 to 100%. Your main character is given yet another opportunity to act, and this time they act a little differently. This time they respond a little differently. The experiences that they've had in the first 25% of the book start to influence the way they respond. Now, that new response, right, in many ways, I think a good way to do this is that it looks like the main character is taking a chance. Again, it has to be scary, scarier than that 10% turning point. It has to create a little more anxiety, and in many ways, maybe create some extra conflict. Okay, so at 25% of the way through the book, we need to start seeing the character make some physical and psychological changes. Okay, again, I hope this is very helpful. This is what I use to plan out my books. And until next time, happy reading, happy writing,